I said, today we're going to be making the famous mint julep. And I'm doing this offensive froghorn leghorn accent because it's the only one I said that I can do. My name is Jonah, and I am the one who drinks. So, as mentioned before, today we're going to be making the mint julep, a classic southern cocktail that is admittedly more reserved for the Kentucky Derby. It was sort of like a higher class drink that just anybody could get, so you get to feel like you're part of the high class without actually being part of the high class. More important than that, apparently it was brought to like world exposure by actually a US Senator, Henry Clay. It was usually like reserved for the South, you know, it's a southern drink. But he brought it to DC one day and it exploded. Now you can get them just about anywhere. But we're focused in on the home, in Kentucky. And because we're focused on Kentucky, there are a few ingredients that I'm gonna have to require. One, you just gotta use a Kentucky bourbon. Today I'm using the Winchester Double Oak. Any Kentucky bourbon will do. And you could get away with a normal bourbon, but seriously, it's a drink based around the Kentucky Derby. If you don't use a Kentucky bourbon, what are you doing? Next, it is called the mint julep. You're gonna need some mint. I can't keep a plant alive for the life of me, so I just buy my mint. But I highly recommend you grow your own. It's very easy to maintain it, as long as you're not me. Next, we're gonna need some simple syrup. Very basic ingredient, but it's used in just about everything. And lastly, my special bag. This is just ice, but a mint julep requires crushed ice to get the true experience. I don't have an ice hammer. I don't think you need one. This is a Crown Royal bag. I fill it with ice and I straight up smash it. Just smash it. But to each their own, do what you feel like you need. This is just really great for making crushed ice. And that's really all you need. As for materials, I recommend a jigger, a muddler, and a really gaudy cup. This is specifically a mint julep cup. It retains ice really well, and it has sort of the same properties as like a Moscow Mule copper tin or a copper cup has, to where our mug. So you can let the ice really congeal on the side and just makes the drink a whole nother level of ice cold. Super easy. So, what do we start with? Now, a lot of different recipes will call for a lot of different things, but I am a true believer that the mint and the syrup need to be the base of this drink. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with just a couple of leaves. Easy, just pluck them off, or if you already have them plucked, even easier. Now, one thing a lot of people don't realize is that you usually want to activate the mint, right? So right now it's just in a stagnant state. You're only getting that really brief, close contact mint. But you can wake up the mint, and that is not a metaphor. You literally smack it. And what you're doing is you're activating the oils in the mint plant, so it just comes off stronger. The extract really grows to another level. Even in this room, just now, got a whole blast of mint. And we're gonna take those mint leaves, we're gonna put them at the bottom of the cup. Nice and easy. From there, we're gonna take our simple syrup. We're gonna add just a ½ ounce. You could do more, you could do less. I've found that 3/4 ounce becomes a little overwhelming for me personally. It becomes more about the sugar, less about that Kentucky bourbon. But also, I know some people, especially some of my viewers, don't have the same sweet tooth I have. You could get away with a 1/4 ounce easy. You're just gonna pour that simple syrup in. And now we begin the muddling. What you're doing here is you're really pressing out every little bit that you can of those mint oils, right? So essentially, we're creating our own version of a mint simple syrup, which admittedly, if you wanted to like raise this to the next level, you could easily make. And if you guys are interested in learning how to make a mint syrup or a grenadine or the simple syrups that I have here, I make all of my syrups by hand. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. But after we press out all the extract from that mint, what we're gonna do next is actually something that a lot of bartenders, like at a normal bar, you know, they've got to rush, they've got to fix everybody's problems at the same time, they got to make drinks on the fly. We're not in a rush. We're making a YouTube video. Or you're just making a delicious drink. What you're gonna do with this other bouquet of mint is the same thing. Put it in your hand. You're gonna slap it to wake up and get those oils. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna rub the inside of your cup. Now, it doesn't have to be in a copper cup, but it sort of adds to the flair, it adds to the fun. And what you're doing is you're rubbing those oils on the inside, all the way around, so that way the mint is really penetrating just every aspect of your drink. Oh, guys, it's so minty. If you're a fan of mint, if you're a fan of bourbon, or if you're a fan of the Kentucky Derby, you have to try Mint Julep. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add some crushed ice. You're filling up just about half of this cup with crushed ice. We'll be adding more later, but it's as you make the drink, you sort of layer onto it. So I'm going to crush some ice right here. Don't worry, I'll cut out most of it. But I want you to understand, like it is literally as simple as grab this bag filled with ice. I have one big ice cube and the rest small, so they'll kind of crash into each other and they can level up their coldness. And then I'm literally smashing them into, I have a very hard, stable countertop that doesn't get marked. If you have something that can get damaged, don't slam this into it. It is still ice, it is still heavy, it will leave marks. But as for me, I'm okay, I promise. And we're literally just slamming ice. Perfect. Now, there's no way you can see this probably, but this is filled with crushed ice. Perfect for not just your mint julep, but if you're a big fan of most tiki drinks, a lot of tiki drinks will call for some crushed ice. But for now, what we're doing is we're filling about half this cup with crushed ice. That way, we can mix the drink in as we build it. So now, you can use a spoon if you want, you know, there's plenty of options, but I personally prefer to go just with a straw. I have these nice reusable metal straws, and what you're doing here is you're literally stirring the drink from the bottom, just in the half ice, right? Drop that back in. We're maximizing the cold, and what you'll be able to see if you're using the copper mug or the copper cup like I am, already wherever the ice is touching, there's a frost line. So it's making it nice and extra cold, really maintaining every little bit. From there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 2 ounces of Kentucky Bourbon. Same thing, you're just gonna stir that up a little bit real quick. When you add in that Kentucky, it's going to essentially melt a lot of the crushed ice you have, and that's okay. So then what you do is you just bring up to the next part, right? So we're going to go to about 2/3 of the way filled with crushed ice. Some of this ice isn't fully crushed, but that's okay. You can just pull out those pieces. And then from there, some places will stop you at 2 ounces, but you're making your own drink. You're an adult, I hope. Please be an adult. And you can add as much as you want. So I personally prefer 2.5 ounces, because otherwise it's just a little too watered down for me, a little too icy, not enough of a kick. Just so you add a little 1/2 ounce here. And then to get the signature mint julep look, you're going to go ahead and just cap this off with a little bit of an ice cone, if you will. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. Perfect. There we go. Now, all you're going to do that's left is you're going to take your little bouquet that you woke up earlier, you rubbed the inside of the glass with. You're going to put that right on the side. Perfect. Now some recipes will call for some Angostura bitters to be added in here. I highly recommend that you avoid that personally, because what you're doing is you're taking away from the core concept of the drink. It is meant to just be Kentucky and mint with some sweetness added in. When you add in those bitters, you're taking away from the highlights, and I just don't think it's for the best. So this is what I mean by this little cone of ice, and if you can see, the whole cup is now nice and frosted. This makes it for an ice cold mint julep. And much like John C. Reilly in Anchorman 2, now there'll be a mint julep on the other side. Oh yeah. So, it's tasting notes. First of all, there's a reason this is a classic. There's a reason this is really, it's come from the South and it's sort of spread all over. The sweetness, no matter how little or much you put in, that sweetness still ends up taking the front note. You're still getting that very sweet, bright sugar, but it's adding with this mint. Because you've muddled so much into the bottom, you're getting these minty, sweet notes that are then immediately followed by what Kentucky Bourbon really does best, which is adds these oaky, dark, warm flavors. So you get this sip of like the bright spring and the earthy oak. And they just combine into a flavor profile that is, to be honest, pretty tough to beat. It is a amazing drink for a cool or a warm day that needs a nice, cool, refreshing brightener. I highly suggest you check out the Mint Julep. This drink was recommended to me by a viewer. If you have any drink you would like to see, please go ahead, drop it in the comments below. While you're at it, why not like this video? Go watch some of my other videos. Guys, I have made quite a few cocktails at this point, and I'm gonna keep making them. It's a blast, and they're all frickin' delicious. Anyways, until next time, my name was Jonah, and I am the one who drinks.